Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be continuing with Genesis chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren, tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto him, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him, and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. You know what's very interesting about the Bible is it's not so black and white. Now, before I it is black and white in a sense that there's clearly good and evil. There's not like an ambiguous gray of whether or not murder is wrong. No, murder is wrong. There's never a question of whether it is wrong or not. It is wrong. So that idea is clearly there. So the verse that I want to key in on today is here. I want to understand this verse. Genesis 37:3. I don't quite understand what it is saying, so I'll give you the KJV reading of it in just a second once I get the different translations. So the KJV version says, "Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children." That makes sense. "Because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors." I don't know if that's a reference to like he was the son of Rachel. I don't quite know what it. Oh, okay. Because Joseph had been born to Jacob in his old age. Because Jacob and Rachel have Joseph and Benjamin, right? So, yeah, so that's why Israel loves Joseph, because he was one of the sons born to him later in his life. Now, this is what I want to talk about, which is what's interesting about the Bible, is when you read the Bible, you do often read characters who are tremendously flawed. Okay, and so there are probably tons of examples of the flaw. Probably one of the most notable flaws is Adam himself, the very first man who introduces sin into the world by choosing to eat the apple that Eve gives him instead of obeying God. And when we look at the Bible, we also know that Adam is not, you know, that for example, if you shall know a tree by its fruit, Adam's own child, Adam had three sons, and if you look at the first two, they're very much a dichotomy. You know, you have Cain the murderer, and you have Abel the martyr. You know, so if Adam has both of this in him, that's exactly what I want to talk about in this chapter. If we look at the verse here in Genesis 35:22, it reads, "And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12." Okay, that passage describes Reuben. So do these passages. "And Reuben heard it," and this is Genesis 37:21. "And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him." And later on, it reads, "And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes." So, this clearly shows that for whatever mistakes Reuben made in Genesis 35, Reuben has a good nature to him as well, in the sense that he doesn't want anything to happen to Joseph. Now, if we recall, Jesus himself comes from what tribe? The tribe of Judah, right? Okay, so what does Judah say in this chapter? And Judah says, "And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh." And his brethren were content. This is phrased in a way where Judah is somehow doing something good, because he just says, instead of murdering Joseph, he says they should sell him to slavery. Good? What's good about, I mean, Joseph shouldn't even be in this predicament. But unfortunately, because Joseph has had these dreams, now his brothers envy him. So it's very fascinating. And of course the pain, fascinating that the people in the Bible are not like, let me take this. God clearly dictates a good and evil. When it says thou shalt not murder, God means it. The people in the Bible are not like, they're people. They have positives, they have negatives. And so that's something that I wanted to mention here in the examples of Reuben and Judah. Now, this is what's very fascinating to me. It's not fascinating. This is probably one of the most painful verses, excuse me. He says here, this is about Israel, and it reads, "And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son for many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down to the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. So it just shows the pain that Israel feels at what he believes is the loss of his son. So with that, I'll go ahead and end the Bible reading there for today and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's daily diet video. Since yesterday's daily diet video, I trained jiu-jitsu, I created 7 days worth of daily diet videos, and I uploaded and will schedule the week's worth of daily diet and workout videos. I created the videos. So with that, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.